Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, I will be guiding you on how to use Wondershare FILMORA to quickly edit your video. It's very simple. So let's get started. First of all you need to do is to launch your browser and then you search for Wondershare FILMORA. Now in the search result, you click on the first or second link and then that takes you to the website. Now when you get to the website, just click on download and then you get to download FILMORA setup, installer setup. What you're about to download is just the installer setup and not the full package. The full package is somewhere a bit above 1 gig. So this is just the installer. Now when you download this, quickly go to your download folder and then run the installer setup. And then you click on install. Now the installer setup is going to download additional files that you need to install the entire or the full software, and this is going to take some time. Now automatically the installer setup will, after downloading, will install the software on your computer, and then all you need to do is to click on start now. So when you so anytime you launch FILMORA, you get to see this startup interface, which allows you to select the aspect ratio for your project before you begin. You can also change this in case you forget. So there are various of them. You have that of Instagram, you have portrait, the default is always on landscape. You have standard, you have business, you have cinema, you have vertical. So in this tutorial I will use that of the landscape orientation. So the next thing you do is to click on new project, and that takes you to the workspace of the video editor. From here, the next thing you need to do is to import your files for editing. We'll talk about the features whilst we edit. So let's go. So you have this empty space here where you have all your items that you need for your video. So that could be audio files, video files, pictures, yes, any of these three. So all you need to do is to click on the space here, and then that takes you to a file manager that allows you to select the files that you need to import. So I have my video on my external drive, so I'm just going to select it. If you have multiple files, you just press Ctrl key on your keyboard and click to select all the files that you need to import. In this case I have just one file here, so I want to import this video. Now the moment you click on open, you have a file imported into the video editor. Now you can click on the file to watch a preview of it here in this window or in this player window. You also need to drag your your file to the timeline. So the workspace has a default video timeline, which is this, and then a default audio timeline, which is this. You can add additional timelines by clicking on this icon here. Now this allows you to add a new video track or an audio track. So if you have more files that you want to add to your timeline, you can just add extra tracks, or you can add all of them on the same track. So to drag your file to your timeline, make sure your playhead is at the beginning of the timeline. Now you can just click on the plus sign here to quickly add your file to the timeline. Because this is a video file, you won't see it on the audio timeline. So the audio timeline is just for audio files. So probably a recorded conversation, music, or any other sound that you probably want to add to your video, you put it here. Yes, you can add, so for example, let's add an audio track which automatically goes below the video timeline. Now when you add a video timeline, add an additional video timeline, it goes to the top. Now you can change the location or the position of these timelines as you please. So you can just click, hold and drag to any area of the timeline that you want. So probably you want this timeline to be below your video, you can do that. Alright, so in case you made a mistake adding another track or to the timeline, you can just right click and then delete that. So we want to delete empty tracks, but the default still remains, so that you can delete. So we have our video starting from the beginning of the timeline to the end of the video, not the end of the timeline. Now if you want to see the entire timeline, or you realize that our video is very long, so we will need to use the scroll bar and scroll to the beginning and the end of the video. Now if you want to see the entire timeline, you just click on this symbol, which is zoom to fit timeline. You click on it and you get to see the entire timeline for your video or your file, which makes it easy for you to edit. In case there's a part of the video that you want to cut out, your playhead, which is this red line, will indicate where to start your cut from and where it ends. So for example, maybe I want to take this part of the video out. You'll click and drag to the exact position where you want to take that part of the video out. Now if you can't see the exact points of the file that you want to cut out, you have this zoom option here. So by clicking on the plus sign, the timeline expands, which allows you to see every microsecond of your file. So that allows you to drag the timeline to the specific location where you want to start cutting your video. You can also drag the scissors up and down on the playhead, but it does not matter where the position is. The moment you click on it, it cuts your video or trims it. Now this is where we want to start. You probably want to start your cuts from, and probably this is where you want it to end. So you click on the scissors and then realize that you have cut your file into into 3 pieces. Now this part of the video you want out, so all you need to do is to click on it and then click on the dustbin icon here or the delete icon here to remove the selected portion. Realize that automatically it vanishes and then that part of the video is out. So that is if you want to cut a portion, there's a part of the video that you don't want. This is how you eliminate that. Now you realize that right now we have just 2 pieces of our video. Don't worry about it being in separate portions. Now the moment you export, when you finish editing and you export the video, automatically it's going to join this and make it one, so there's no need to worry. And also if you have multiple files that you want, probably you recorded pieces of your video, right? Maybe you recorded part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, or they are in various aspects. Now you can put all of them together by dragging them to the same timeline. So if I had these 2 video files here, I can just drag the first one here and then continue with the next one. The moment I export, it's going to the video editor is going to combine all of them and make it one file. It won't be separate, so keep that in mind. Now in this tutorial, well, in case you made a mistake, so you have the undo sign here that allows you to, probably you deleted part of the video that you didn't want to delete, you mistakenly deleted a portion. You can just undo, click on this symbol here to undo, so realize that the video that we deleted is back. Or you can redo and then we are back to where we were after deleting that portion of the video. So apart from this, you can also press Ctrl Z on your keyboard to undo and then Ctrl Y to redo. And the next thing we want to look at is to add text to our video. We would add sound to this video because we won't need it, but there are audio files here and you need internet access to, you need internet to download this, because they are not part, even though they are here, they are not part of the, they are not already downloaded files that are being added to the software. You need to download them from FILMORA's server. Now any item that you get to download are saved to this tab or are saved to your computer, so you can have access to them anytime you want, so you don't need to download them again. So anytime you download a file or any feature from FILMORA, you get to have those items saved to your computer and you can reuse them anytime you want. So we want to add text to our video, so you go to the text tab, click on it, and then you choose which text style that you want to use. So this text style is, you just hover your cursor on it and you get to see how it's being displayed. But this is what we want to use. You can click on this to watch a preview of it before you add it to your timeline. And realize that we don't have an additional timeline, it's just this two. But the moment you click on the plus sign here, FILMORA automatically adds it to the timeline. Because the duration of this text effect is small, you can actually see it, so we need to zoom the timeline to see our text effect. Now just move the playhead onto it, and then you get to see the the text effect on your video. I also realized automatically FILMORA has added an additional video track, which is here. So you don't need to add a track to enable you add a file to the timeline. So you can just click the plus sign or drag and drop, and automatically FILMORA adds a timeline or a track to your timeline. I realized that the text effect is covering our video, so we don't want that. We want to reposition this. All you need to do is to click and readjust the video layer to a location of your choice. Doing this, you can use the navigation keys or the arrow keys to reposition this. And also you realize that the text on the video layer are also separate. You can also adjust those ones too. Just to fit your preference. Now this third text layer we don't need, so we'll use just these two. The third one we don't need, so you can just click on it here and then you press delete on your keyboard, or you can just go to the properties panel here, which is on the right side of your screen, and you click on the dustbin sign or the delete sign here to remove that layer. So we only want these two to work with. Now each of the text layer that you click on allows you to edit the content here, change the font type here. You are also at liberty to change the font size here, and then also the font color. Now FILMORA also has a text preset that you can choose from. So in case there's any text style that you want from this preset, you can just click on any one of them to apply. Realize that it is taking effect, but we don't want any of this, so back to default. And then our text style, we want to use the color black. The text type we want to use is can choose any that you prefer. So let's start with let's go with this, and then our font size should be something probably 18. Let's see how this goes. Now the text type we want to use has been selected. Let's click and drag this to the right position and then edit the text. So my name, and index number. Realize that the information is too long for the video layer, so but that's okay. So I just click and drag and position it nicely, just like I've done, and then yes, that's nice. So we want to add additional information to what we've already provided, but rather below this. So you just press the enter key on your keyboard, and then you can add additional information that you want. So probably the name of the school, which is now looking at what we have so far, we realize that the video layer is a bit smaller than the text, so we want to increase the video layer a little bit in height and then in length. And also reduce the font size to probably 16 is okay. Now you can click on this symbol to view the full screen of what you are doing. But you can't edit, you can't do any editing here. It just allows you to view the full screen of what you see when you export your video. So I think this is nice. So press the escape key on your keyboard and then click on this setting, change the zoom level to fit, so you go back to the original screen size. Now that we are done editing this, we want to edit the text layer below. So this will only need the name of the subject and then the topic. So the subject is ICT and then the topic is formatting tools in MS Word. So we want to change the font size to probably 14, let's say 16. Font type to something different or just the same thing. Do you want to keep the font color? We want to maintain the font color white. Let's see how that will look. Okay, that's nice. So we'll keep this. Now because the text layer is a video file, you can stretch it to any length that you want. I think this does not have a limit time duration. There are others that have a limit time duration where you can stretch, but this allows you to stretch. But if you want this to, the text to appear on the entire video, right? Because when you play this, realize that it comes with an animation before your text appears. The more you stretch, the longer it takes for it to animate. So I think the best thing you do, and then it's also best to don't keep the text on the entire video. So probably let it disappear and then appear within a certain time frame. So let's reduce our timeline, and then we can copy this by pressing Ctrl+C on our keyboard. Move the playhead to a certain position on the timeline, then press Ctrl+V to paste. So when it gets to this time on the video, the text will appear again. And then it disappears. So you can continue doing this, or you can just minimize it a little bit. So probably this area, Control V, and then it paste this area. Or you can choose to have your text on the entire video. That is up to you to decide. So I don't want mine on the entire video. I want it to appear within a certain time duration. Now to make this a bit faster, you can just click and drag on a number of these files and then you copy them. Control C to copy. So that becomes, so I've pasted 3 instead of the single one I was doing. Or I can just copy all this. It is important that you lock your timeline so that you don't accidentally end up selecting it or editing what you feel you are done with. So just click on the padlock symbol here to lock the track. So when that is done, even when you click on the scissors, no effect will take place because the timeline is being locked. So I have this selected, Control C to copy, and then I think where the playhead is, it's okay, and I paste. So I can paste a number of them. Control C to copy and then paste. I want the last one, the last text to end with the video, and this can be a little bit in between. So looking at our video and our text effect, so anytime the playhead gets to where our text is, it will appear. To play and pause, you can just press the space bar on your keyboard to play and pause, or you can just click on play here. So it has appeared and disappeared. Okay, so I think we are done with the text. You can lock that one too. Now make sure that whatever you place on your timeline ends on the same line with your video, and to know whatever file you are placing on your video ends with the on the same playhead or on the same line. When you click and drag, you realize that this hash line shows up. So this shows that the video ends, the text file ends with the video. Now if it goes extra, it goes overboard, or it's overlaid, what happens is that when the playhead gets here, it will still play. Now when you export a video, this is what is going to happen. So you realize that there's no video here, but we have text playing. And when you export a video, this is where your file ends, and we don't want that. So we want the text to end with the video. So we drag it and make sure that it's in line with the video that we are exporting. Apart from that, apart from using the playhead and the scissors to trim your video, you can also click and then and drag to trim your video. So probably you don't like the end of the video, right? So you want to trim it a little bit. So you can just click, hold and drag to wherever you want your video to end. You can do this for the beginning of this video and wait, but you cannot do it in the middle. So in the middle, if you want to to trim the center of this video, that's where you need to do your cutting. But if it is the edges that you want to trim, all you need to do is move your cursor to the beginning of that video, click and drag, and then you easily trim. But you can't do this in the middle. So as our video ends, you can choose to lock or unlock them before you export. Now that we are done editing for now, we have all that we need on our video. So you can just click on export here to export the video. Now you can choose the thumbnail, which is a picture to use as the front page for your video. But in this tutorial we don't need a thumbnail because I'm not posting this video on YouTube, like this video on YouTube, so I don't need a thumbnail for this. So you have options to select from. So what are you exporting your video to? So let's say you have what we call the local device, and then which is your PC. So you choose the format here. Now this output settings allows you to choose the format type. So probably there's a video that you just want to extract just the audio from. You come here, which is under local, and then under format you select MP3. Now the moment you export your video, it's only going to, the finished product is only going to be an audio file and not a video, because you've selected this format. In this tutorial we are not exporting just the audio, so we want the entire video. And then you can choose the resolution settings here. We want this to be in 1080 1080. The higher the resolution, the bigger the file size. So 1280 720, so that's okay. Yes, and then you can also choose a device that you want to export your video to. So probably which format do you want to which device do you want to export your video to? So probably you want an iPhone quality, an iPad quality, an Apple TV quality, an Apple TV 4K quality, an iPod, Samsung, and the likes. So I want the settings. You can also export your video to YouTube, TikTok, Vimeo, and then probably DVD. So whatever you prefer, you can just choose from this output settings. So we have our format settings, and then here you choose the location of your video. So let's export to desktop, and then the name of the video. So internship, or let me just use my index number 51910400760. Yeah, so location is desktop, format MP4, quality I want it higher. So resolution is this, yes, higher by 1280 and by 720. We are keeping the project frame rate, and then that's it. Then you click on export. Now you wait for FILMORA to do its magic and export the video. So this should take this will take some time. So finally our video is has been exported. So let's allow FILMORA to analyze video and extract and highlight. So you can click on open folder to open, and then well, we are not supposed to, that's okay. So this is your video. This is a video highlight. But this is your video. So realize that on the timeline of our editor, our video lasted for 49 minutes 38 seconds, which is where our playhead ends. So 49 minutes 38 seconds. And when you look at our exported video, it says the same thing. 49 minutes 38 seconds. Realize that our text has appeared and gone. You also realize that even though our video was split into two, it's just one file. Even though our video was divided into two, because of the editing we did, it's just one file. So even though, yes, we have two files here, it was merged into one. So that's how you merge files of your video. So yes, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.